Hello and welcome back to our Chrono Trigger Jets of Time race series. I will be your narrator for this race once again, although I may talk less as writing this script takes too much time. Our runners today are smercjd, Phone, Hunnydoo and Spikarino. For the flag sets, we have Bourse, Gear, Healing Item, Tech Damage and Element Rando. This is the same as the previous run with the addition of the Tech Damage and Element Rando flag. Let's explain the additional flags. In Tech Damage Rando, the cost of every character's damaging techs are shuffled and reassigned at random. The power of each tech will either be higher if the cost is higher than default, lower if the cost is lower, or remain the same if it costs the same. Dual and triple techs will also inherit the cost and damage values of the techs. This can lead to party combinations, character builds, and tech strategies that would otherwise not be doable. It can impact the difficulty of the game, making some situations easier and some more difficult. For example, Frog in the base flag set is generally an underpowered damage dealer, even with ideal gear, due to his low offensive capabilities. But in Tech Damage Rando, if he rolls a 20 MP core slurp cut and is paired with a robo, he can perform Blade Toss, dealing 2x slurp cut damage in a line. Or if he ends up with a high-powered Leap Slash, the Silver Rock Triple Tech Spin Strike, which deals 4x Leap Slash damage, suddenly becomes a hot commodity and everyone wants to party with Frog. There are many opportunities to make use of things that would otherwise never see any use. Similarly, Element Rando will shuffle all the innate elemental types for each character and reassign them. You may see a Lucar with water magic or a Chrono with fire abilities. The functionality of the techs remains the same, but the damage types can have implications for what techs you use. With the introductions out of the way, I will chime in when notable things happen. For now, let us watch the opening routing for each player. For a deeper dive into the flags and other information, visit the Chrono Trigger Jets of Time wiki or join the Discord. We're here to help. smercjd enters the cathedral early as the other runners are shopping and visiting the Carpenter's wife. And Carpenter's wife awards a C trigger. With that, our runners only need to find the pendant and clone to unlock Black Omen Go mode. With Smirk seemingly in the lead, let us listen in. Our first recruit is Magus. As in the normal flag set, Magus brings a wide variety of elemental screen clears to the party and will be an invaluable asset for most of the run. In Tech Damage Rando, due to having a large number of damaging techs, he is likely to have some strong magic. We see a bent hilt at Snail's stop on phone screen. This would put our runners at 2 out of 3 good for a Magus Castle Go mode. If the bent sword is found, we will be cooking. This is a good opportunity to look at techs. Smerc has a 15 MP Rollo kick, a 1 MP rock throw, a 4 MP dark mist on frog, which is the shadow equivalent of water 2, and a 1 MP fire to on magus. Rollo kick is notable. It is our first strong tech of the run, while the rest are low cost, but MP efficient. Rollo kick is generally an underpowered tech for the cost, while rock throw is overpowered for the cost. If MP efficiency is a concern, rock throw spam is a viable option if the target allows it. Our other 3 runners are recruiting magus now. Smerc is beginning the bridge check as the others grab their Nagobromites. One thing to note here is that magic is unlocked this run, so there is no need to worrying about tech point waste. Hecarim will be an attractive option for this reason. The bridge check awards clone, putting to-go modes within a single item of being available. There is almost always a gate key or pendant in the starting time periods, as they are required to unlock other time periods, so we may see a very early Black Omen go mode here. Aussie on the bridge, you're giving out magma hands. This is a bit disappointing, as the loot table here can be quite lucrative. Phone and Hunnydoo make their way through Hecarim Cave. The bridge boss is Mother Brain, which can be very difficult to deal with at lower levels. Those runners that have already used power tabs on Ayla will be quite happy to be able to get through this slog more quickly. Phone is the first to the end of Heron Cave, and who else but Flea would be waiting for our players. As with the previous race, the timelines always seem to synchronize around Flea fights. That's how powerful beauty is, I guess. smercjd meanwhile seems to be feeling the pain on bridge. With his last ounce of strength, smercjd takes down Mother Brain, while our other runners look like they've copied each other's homework on Flea. Flea falls to Spikarino, and we'll soon see the reward for a Heron Cave. smercjd is now making up for the early game routing that was skipped earlier. We see on full display the difference between using tabs early and saving them, with the other runners Ayla easily doing more than double the damage to bosses compared to phones. And all three make it past Flea, and we will now head over to Luca's house to speak with Tabor. We are hoping to see a pendant here, but at this stage of the game nobody except smercjd knows where Clone is. The reward is Ruby Knife, which puts us to away from Tyranno Go mode. Phone and Spikarino continue to be in sync, beginning the bridge check, while smercjd and Hunnydoo have a slumber party at Chrono's house. This is a free party heal, and also activates the validation cat for those that play with the full tracker. The bridge, coincidentally, is also a full heal. Hunnydoo dives into desert. An excellent move given what we know about what boss awaits Phone and Spikarino at the end of this bridge. The time invested in leveling here will pay off many times over throughout the run. And the items aren't bad either. Phone and Spikarino roaching Mother Brain now, while smercjd is knocking on Flea's door. Hunnydoo is wrapping up his desert grind, and if he does bridge next, he may be the first of the three to finish it. The early tabs again pay off for Spikarino and smercjd, allowing their bosses to be taken care of significantly faster. Spikarino begins the Dinodoro mountain climb as Hunnydoo approaches Mother Brain and Phone continues to bang his head against the wall. We may see all our runners on Dinodoro soon, as we are running out of places to look for progression. And Mother Brain has been cleared by all runners. At this point, everyone is at the same level of progression, with Spikarino in the lead, followed closely by smercjd and Phone and Hunnydoo in sync. Phone goes off to the fair to pick up a strong frog weapon, still holding his tabs in case a strong opportunity presents itself for the late game. A silver rock is caught by Spikarino from the jerk bird. This unlocks Spin Strike, which could be very powerful if Frog rolls high on leap/damage. And Phone appears to be starting Dinodoro now as Spikarino begins the boss fight. At this point, all runners are within about 3 minutes of each other. At this point in the run, Spikarino experiences technical difficulties. This will give the others a chance to catch up. If the race outcome is decided by these technical difficulties, we will factor that in at the end. We have a North Cape Magus as the Dinodoro boss, which may give our runners a small amount of trouble. Hunnydoo is near the top of the mountain and may be able to take the lead with his stronger party. Spikarino appears to be back, losing about 2 minutes in the process of fixing issues. Foam meanwhile has reached the boss room, putting everyone in the same room. A hero medal is awarded to smercjd. This will make Frog a much stronger party member, and we will know shortly what is in the burrow chest. And with the pendant in Frog's burrow, we have found Go mode. Every runner will be headed to the future, shortly where the end game will play out. smercjd, being the first to find pendants and enter the prison, is of course the first to reach the exit, and Masamune is blocking the path. Our other runners are right behind in their own prison break sequences. The boss goes down, and the path to the Black Omen is cleared. Phone, in a bit of a divergence, opts to loot the additional rooms in the prison while the rest make their escape. After a bit of looting, smercjd enters Protodome to check the character here. smercjd sees Robo in Protodome and does a 360 before walking away. Robo looks sad, and we can't really blame him. Hunnydoo, smelling an opportunity, opts to visit Dome for a second power spike before the endgame. Phone continues to loot random junk from the prison, and Spikarino begins his endgame preps. smercjd begins the Death Peak climb. Spikarino heads for Robo. Hunnydoo begins his grind, and Phone decides that prison is worth breaking out of. Spikarino is beginning the Death Peak climb now. Phone is wrapping up the prison arc, and Hunnydoo will be at the end of the conveyor grind shortly. Phone enters the future as Hunnydoo begins a second round of Dome. Spikarino pulls ahead, as smercjd wants smoke from every enemy on the mountain. Phone fully commits to the bit, giving the other runners plenty of time to get ahead, while he searches for some wacky thing to show off for the viewers. Hunnydoo begins his ascent, as Spikarino is the first to reach the boss, and it's Atropos XR. Smirk will be starting the boss momentarily, and Phone is going for the mop in Lab 32. There is no logical reason to do this except for janitor strats. Should Chrono be recruited? Phone recruits Robo. Robo is not looking good. After a back and forth run up the mountain, Spikarino and smercjd reach the top together. Hunnydoo is having fun, while Phone continues to hunt for a meme strategy. Hunnydoo begins the Atropos encounter as phone dives into Cathedral in his never-ending hunt for something to entertain the viewers. Spikarino and smercjd will begin the Omen run shortly. smercjd and Spikarino begin their final preparations. Spikarino enters the final dungeon of the game. His phone reaches the end of the first dungeon of the game. Hunnydoo is summoning the Black Omen now, and will be one to watch. His party is significantly stronger than the others. smercjd begins the final dungeon as well. Hunnydoo, in a display of pure confidence, enters the Black Omen in 2300 AD to give the other runners more time. At this exact moment, Spikarino is leading the pack with smercjd close behind, followed by Hunnydoo. Phone meanwhile has no idea what is going on and is still just trying to find a fun party composition. Phone recruits Luca, which will hopefully be less disappointing than Robo was. Looks like Luca isn't immediately useful either. Surely now Phone will head to go mode. Hunnydoo has made it to the final dungeon in the correct time period now, and is only one screen behind the other two. He has a strong chance of overtaking them. Phone checks the sealed chests, showing total disregard for the fact that this is a race. Spikarino and smercjd opted to fight the boss orbs, giving them tech points and hopefully unlocking something that they can use to finish out the run. Hunnydoo, meanwhile, opts to skip them, putting all three close together. Having successfully skipped the last few encounters and wrapped up the current one, Hunnydoo is officially in the lead. Let's see if he can hold it. Hunnydoo has reached the final shop, with Spikarino not far behind. smercjd is entering the Omen elevator, while Phone is still doing whatever it is he's doing. 30 minutes later, Phone begins his death peak climb. Hunnydoo and Spikarino making their final shopping decisions as smercjd wraps up the elevator. Hunnydoo is the first to reach Omen Bourse number 1 as phone wraps up Death Peak. smercjd is catching up to Spikarino, while Hunnydoo pulls ahead. And it looks like Yakra is our boss today. Normally, he is not a threat, but in the Black Omen boss stats can scale very high, and this may be problematic. For those that have been holding out for a winning combination, Hunnydoo seems to have found it. Bubble hit with 20 MP from Frog and 15 MP from Ayla, with a 1.5x damage multiplier on both techs. It hits in excess of 4,000 for Hunnydoo, which is enough to defeat Zeal 2 in 5 hits. Hunnydoo defeats Yakra as Spikarino makes his approach. Phone enters Omen as Hunnydoo begins the final elevator and Spikarino enters the first boss room. Spikarino begins the Yakra encounter, having not unlocked Bubble Hit yet. This bodes well for Hunnydoo. If no serious threats emerge, this run will be wrapping up soon. Spikarino continues to fight Yakra, while smercjd begins the encounter. smercjd discovers the bubble hit. Let's see what it does. And we see nearly 4,000 damage from smercjd as well. Hunnydoo's party may be stronger, but neither one will require very much time to clean up the remaining bosses. and smercjd takes Yakra down second, overtaking Spikarino. Hunnydoo approaches the final boss gauntlet and Phone is making up for lost time, but is still significantly behind. Hunnydoo begins the second boss, and it's Dalton Plus. smercjd is finishing up the elevator, and Spikarino continues to chip away at Yakra. Yakra goes down for Spikarino. smercjd is working on the second elevator as Phone works on the first elevator. Hunnydoo continues the Dalton fight. Phone blasts past every encounter skip after the elevator, except that one. smercjd finished the second elevator as Spikarino fights through it. Hunnydoo's Magus falls to Dalton, but Bubble Hit finished the job. Hunnydoo begins the third Omen boss, and it's Giga Gaia. This can be a scary boss with high stats, as it throws out a constant barrage of magic damage to the full party. Spikarino is finishing the second elevator as smercjd approaches the second boss, and Phone makes his final shopping decisions. Gigagaya goes down for a Hunnydoo, and smercjd approaches Dalton, plus with Spikarino right behind. smercjd begins the Dalton fight. Hunnydoo will be saving and healing up before the Zeal Gauntlet. Spikarino will be fighting Dalton shortly, while Phone is making the final approach to the first boss. smercjd will quickly dispatch Dalton here with the high-powered bubble hits. Hunnydoo begins the Zeal Gauntlet and Spikarino approaches Dalton. Hunnydoo should have little trouble finishing this race, but any trouble here can give the others a chance to catch up. Hunnydoo quickly dispatches Zeal, while Spikarino begins to wear down Dalton. smercjd contemplates equipping the fancy rock he just found with 2 bonus speed. Hunnydoo successfully pulls of the menu glitch, paving the way for a smooth finish. Hunnydoo begins the penultimate fight against the Mammon Machine. We will likely see it go down in 3 attacks without ever attacking back. smercjd is fighting Gigagaya now, and Spikarino should be sending Dalton to the Shadow Realm. Phone meanwhile is 1 screen away from the first boss. This bubble hit should wrap up Mammon Machine and send Hunnydoo to the final battle. Spikarino, like Hunnydoo, loses Magus to Dalton, but no one cares and this battle is finished. Phone begins the Yakra fight, while Spikarino prepares to fight Gigagaya. Zeal 2 has 20,000 HP. With bubble hit doing nearly 5,000, this fight should take at most 5 bubble hits to wrap up for our runners. Assuming Magus can keep the party topped off, this should be no problem for our runners. The first bubble hit goes out. Phone gets overly aggressive on Yakra and loses Magus. This is recoverable, but not ideal. smercjd has taken the Gigagaya arms out and will be joining us in the Zeal Gauntlet shortly as Spikarino begins Gigagaya. Spikarino, feeling confident, mashes the head of Gigagaya with bubble hits while ignoring the hands. 3 of these should take down the head, so if the party can survive the damage, this is a good strategy. Another bubble hit goes out from Hunnydoo. We are nearing the halfway point of Zeal 2, which point halation will go out, reducing the party's HP to 1. smercjd finished Gigagaya, and Spikarino should be 1 hit away from wrapping up this fight. Hunnydoo has dealt approximately 14,000 damage to Zeal 2. Another bubble hit or 2 should end this. smercjd will be making his final preparations now. Hunnydoo is now 1 bubble hit away from sealing the deal. Spikarino is also approaching the Zeal Gauntlet, which will put him in contention with smercjd. Phone meanwhile is still on Yakra, as he has not unlocked bubble hit yet. Hunnydoo locks in the final bubble hit on Zeal 2, securing his victory. And immediately his power goes out. This is a personal best time for Hunnydoo. I am willing to count this as a win, as the fight required no more inputs to complete. Had 1 more skip been pulled off, this would be finished. Hunnydoo, however, has opted to forfeit, so smercjd and Spikarino competing for the victory. Phone has finished off Yakra and will begin the final approach. smercjd is the first to begin the Zeal fight. Phone continues to search for a fun combination to finish his run out, swapping Magus out for Robo and hoping for a strong leap slash for spin strike. Spikarino begins the Zeal fight and smercjd will be wrapping it up. Smerc and Spikarino opt to take long Zeal 1 fights, but they are finished now and still within seconds of each other. Both nail the menu glitch and Phone begins the second elevator. Let's see if either runner can gain the upper hand on Mama Machine. This is a boss, but should go very quickly with the right approach. Smerc opts to let the boss attack before damaging it, while Spikarino comes out of the gate aggressively. And Spikarino pulls ahead, with Mammon Machine being one bubble hit from being deleted. Disregard that. Defense increase has changed the calculation. And Mammon goes down. At this point, it is Spikarino's race to lose. If he can continue to push Zeal aggressively, he should have this wrapped up. But as with Lavo's call, Zeal 2 is a boss where wacky things can happen if the wrong party members get focused. While we were watching the Zeal fights, Fonus finished up the second elevator and is scoping out Lucas' tech possibilities. It would take a miracle for him to pull ahead at this point, but crazier things have happened. Spikarino sends out the first bubble hit, 4 more to go. Displaying great wisdom, Spikarino uses Magus to throw an ether on Ayla. It is a common RPG mistake to hold onto your best items so long that you never actually use them, even in the end game. This move will help to finish the boss quickly. smercjd begins the fight as well. Spikarino has passed the halfway mark and, assuming nothing spirals out of control from the halation, is in position to finish this boss. smercjd is about 20% of the way through, but can still catch up. He attempts to bubble hit again, but does not have the MP to do so. In an unfortunate turn of events, Spikarino loses Ayla immediately after the halation. Frog is also targeted by a laser, but thankfully is equipped with Shadow Damage Absorb, giving him a chance to recover the party. A lucky break. As they say, random is random. And Spikarino, like Hunnydoo before him, is one bubble hit away from finishing the boss. His party is healthy, and he has enough MP to pull it off. Zeal 2 has 2 strong party wiping abilities, but they will not be seen here as the fight has been done too quickly. This looks like a victory. smercjd meanwhile has seen the party-wide hour attacks go out, and will be slower to finish. Phone is on the final boss gauntlet now, and with a time of 1 hour 36 minutes and 16 seconds, Spikarino is the official winner, with Hunnydoo conceding due to the power outage. At this point it's a battle for second place, and not a very close one. smercjd passes the halfway point and survives the halation. Ayla, however, does not. Let's hope that he can recover before the timer expires, and a giant blue star is dropped on the party. Another bubble hit goes out, putting us a stone's throw away from finishing. smercjd throws the elixir out. And the final bubble hit goes out as well. With a time of 1 hour, 38 minutes and 6 seconds, smercjd secures his finish and a second place in our race today. Phone has made a strong comeback, but started far too late for it to matter. Let's listen in. And with the race concluded, let us watch Phone finish the run out. While we do that, let me remind you that we run live races every Sunday, once in the morning and once in the evening. Anyone is free to join them, and we run async races frequently too, if that is more your style. Links are in the description, and thank you to the community, the racers, the developers, and the viewers for all that you do. Good night. While we have a moment, let us recap. All runners followed more or less the same path. All runners except Phone used their tabs early, which helped them through the early game bosses. This is a gamble, as there is no guarantee that the character you use tabs on will be useful in your endgame party. This run, however, demonstrates that gambles often pay off. The starting party ended up being the final party, with bubble hit being the main source of damage needed to finish out the run. It came very late in the run, but as we can see from Phone's screen, no other options were easily obtainable. Hunnydoo engaged in multiple grinds throughout the run, while the other 3 runners did not. This made all his fights after the grind significantly faster, and ultimately resulted in him pulling ahead of the pack in Omen, and never slowing down. Phone was largely unconcerned with time and opted to search for a crazy party combination to show off for the viewers, but ultimately did not find one. His party's power level is very high, but he's still just using bubble hit like everyone else. Luca and Robo ended up being wasted recruits. Such is the nature of tech damage Rando. Had Frog's bubble hit rolled low, the other 3 runners would not have had such an easy time clearing the bosses here. But because it ended up at max power with a 15 MP Rollo kick from Ayla, the runners were able to breeze through to the end. Spikarino and smercjd demonstrated different approaches to the final bosses. Where smercjd took a conservative, sustainable approach, Spikarino very aggressively blasted the bosses down. In the end, the aggressive play paid off for Spikarino, with bubble hit quickly taking down each phase. We see a nearly 4000 damage flame kick from Phone, nearly as powerful as the bubble hit. But it ends up being redundant as Frog and Ayla do more than enough damage without a third damage dealer. In this situation, a group heal from Robo or an Alchemist Magus with his high speed would be better. Phone, like Spikarino before him, opts for the aggressive damage plays, confident in his ability to finish the bosses without being taken down. The bubble hit goes out, and we will see Zeal fall in a single attack. The Mammon machine, similarly, will go down very quickly. And with 5,000 damage bubble hits, Zeal 2 should fall in 4 turns. The Mammon machine falls. and with a time of 1 hour 49 minutes and 27 seconds after a wild comeback following 30 minutes of wasted time, Phone completes the run. This race is still open, so the final placements may vary, but as of right now, Spikarino is in first, smercjd in second, Phone in third, and Hunnydoo forfeits, although he totally won that. Let us take a moment to enjoy the credits. While we listen to this soothing music, let me again thank everyone for all that they do. If you want to play, please join the Discord in the description below. As the YouTubers say, like, comment and subscribe to stay up to date on Jets of Time races. And we've reached the end. Thank you and good night.